Hi guys, did you know the people of Britain are all secret Tories? Or something like that. So in another case of not learning anything from the general election, the Shadow Housing Minister Kevin Hollinrake spoke to Times Radio about how Britain is really a conservative country, as he was asked about one of Kemi Badenoch's appointments to the House of Lords. A guy called Nigel Biggar, who's a professor of moral theology and someone who has written articles in defence of colonialism. When Kevin says that Britain holds conservative values, what the heck is he talking about?
Nigel Biggar, again, somebody who has been far more balanced, an academic has been far more balanced about, yes, some of the things we got wrong in the days of our empire, but some of the things we got right. And I think it's right that we look at this and that we teach our young people that there are some positives about our past, as well as some of the things we may have got wrong. So some real proper independent thinkers, probably with proper conservative values. I think many people will welcome some of those appointments.
So the war on woke is going to carry on?
Well, I mean, it's just common sense, isn't it, Ed? Isn't that what we're talking about? I mean, with war on woke, that sounds quite negative. Actually, it's about saying to people, well, a woman is a woman. It's about, I mean, Keir Starmer can't tell you what a working person is or what a woman is. I think, this is about just being straightforward with people, and trying to reject all this stuff about diversity, equality, where you're actually having positive discrimination, which most conservatives don't understand, just can't deal with, don't want to see in our society, which I don't either. I think we just want good common sense, conservative values. At the end of the day, the conservative values are the ones that are most reflective of the everyday thinking, in my view, and that's where we want to be in terms of how we extol our values.
Okay, so conservative values are everyday thinking, or what the general public believe in. Let's leave aside this culture war, so that it seems the Conservatives want to continue with the culture war. But what are conservative values? Honestly, what is he talking about here when he talks about conservative values and that the general public seem to hold these conservative values? Because if we look back not just over the last 14 years, but over the last number of decades, what are conservative values? For example, elitism would be a conservative value, where the rules don't apply to us, they apply to the members of the public, not to the Conservative Party, and certainly not the richest in society. So there's a two-tiered system where your average person on the street has to follow the rules, but the Conservatives don't. Is that a conservative value? Elitism? Dishonesty? Over the last number of years, where it came to corruption, for example, Partygate, is that a conservative value? And then if we look at, over the last 14 years in particular, austerity, where you transfer money from the poorest in society to the richest in society, is that a conservative value? When it came to house building, ignoring the young generation, younger people trying to get on the property ladder, completely abandoned by the state, is that a conservative value? Harsh immigration policies, which are designed to make people angry with asylum seekers and refugees and immigrants in general. Complete and utter neglect of the environment. Where's the conserve in the Conservative Party? When it came to protecting English rivers and lakes, the Conservatives decided to abandon them and support water companies who are pumping raw sewage into rivers and lakes. Economic mismanagement, how could I forget that? Liz Truss, is that a conservative value? And finally, of course, any lack of compassion for the poorest in society and the most vulnerable. When it came to the pandemic, or just in general, are these conservative values? It seems the Conservative Party have learned nothing from the general election. They're doubling down on this culture war, but also they have refused to apologise try and make amends for the damage they've done over the last 14 years. They've learned nothing. Instead, what they're doing is, of course, blaming everyone else. Maybe that's a conservative value, blaming everyone but yourself. And they seem to be good at it. They used to be blaming the Labour Party when they were in power. Then they were blaming, of course, the civil service, the blob, the Westminster bubble, the media. Everyone else is at fault apart from the Conservative Party. So maybe that's the ultimate conservative value. Never take responsibility for your actions and always blame somebody else. Now, he's saying that the British public support these types of values. I tend to disagree with him. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.